What's up, everybody? This is Jimmy with Trading Decoded. It is August, right? August? Yeah, August 19th, 2024, 4:04 in the afternoon. The market is closed. Today's video title is Bored? Walk away. We've known boredom to be more of a problem than it is useful. It's not useful to be boredom. But when we're bored and we're staring at a chart, we oftentimes feel inclined to do something because, well, we're bored and we want to do something, which oftentimes leads to forcing trades, breaking rules, and usually resulting in a losing trade or a losing day or whatever the case is. Today was that day for me. I took a call this morning at a time that I felt comfortable doing, and I was up. It wasn't a big win. It was a 17% win. It did allow me to meet my daily goal of $500, slightly over. But it was still early, and, well, I didn't want to be done trading simply because I have to be on the microphone for the entire day anyway. And as a result, I start to get a little itchy, little wanting to do something, little feeling like I have to perform or just be entertaining or do something. So I took a trade. I took a put way too aggressively, and then I stopped out of that put, turning my green day red. I'm not upset that I had a red day. I'm upset that I earned the red day due to, well, boredom or stupidity, whatever you want to call it. But let's go ahead and launch charts, take a look at what we're talking about, and take a look at what happened. What happened was the market seemed to be pretty happy this morning. It was trending up for the most part leading into the open. Got out of our pre-market range, and our put line was a breach of 554.65. We were hoping it was going to make it slightly below this blue line down to these guys here, but we did have support at the blue line. Our call line was a close above 555.30. What we were hoping for was the move would continue up to this dotted line. Now, we were struggling with the idea of getting through that line up there. Qs were trending down this morning. This is why I was not in a hurry to buy calls, okay? When the Qs are trending down, I don't play against the Qs. If you go back and watch a couple of videos ago, I did the opposite of what the Qs were doing, and I lost money on that trade, and it wasn't great, okay? So this is why I respect the Qs. Now, I'm sitting there watching SPY go up, reminding people that, guys, if you like what you see, please take the trades you're comfortable with. I refuse to trade against the Qs. Last time I did that, it cost me money. I'm trying to learn from my losing mistakes, right? So as the Qs were trending down while SPY is trending up, I'm not really aggressively looking for calls, okay? Now, on the put side, if you look at 938 on the Qs, we were still putting in lower lows on the day. Okay, so because of this, even though we hadn't closed below support, which is something we probably should have done, we were anticipating that if we can get a close below this line, we'd head down to 473.34. At the same time, ADD at that time was very green, but seemingly topping out. Okay, so it was an aggressive entry on SPY. We were just below support, pulling back to resistance, looking for at least a move down to the next line. It happened. I didn't take that trade. In fact, the first trade I took was calls. And the reason I got in on calls here is because we pulled back to support. And at this time, Qs had finally started to move back to the upside. And even if the Qs were going to stop moving up at 475.89 or even the pre-market midline, we should still have a little bit of room to run up to at least SPY's resistance, or Qs at least. This was the trade I took for the day. This was my first trade of the day. It was a 16.9% or 16.7% win, whatever it was. Not a huge win, but a win nonetheless. In a time where we were in a very tight range. SPY was still in like $1 range at this point. There was really no reason to have taken any trades. I mean, Qs were not in step with SPY, ADD was all over the place, but green and very green all day today. It just forcing a trade. I'm a human being. I'm impervious. I'm not impervious to making mistakes that everybody else makes. But that wasn't the problem. I felt pretty good about this trade. Okay. What I hoped that it was going to continue to move up and pay us more, but it didn't. Qs hit resistance. We had the opportunity to stop out here or put our stops at break even. We had a bunch of people stop out at break even. By the way, that was the support level here that Qs were on. And it ran up. Okay. Now, where did I make my mistake? Well, 10:02 is when I took my entry for puts, okay? We had just gotten below our pre-market high line. We were pushing down off of lower highs onto pre-market low or pre-market mid. And I was saying to everybody, guys, I'm getting bored. What do you think about me taking puts, assuming we're going to breach the put line? And I'm not asking for other people to tell me how many trade my money. I'm just trying to talk myself into doing something, even though I shouldn't be doing it. Now, there was 2 reasons that I really shouldn't have done this. Number 1, we hadn't yet crossed that line, this line. Number 2, last time we did, it was a very, very short-lived move down to the next line, which I got in early, so I was okay with that. But the other problem was the Qs were dead solid on support here. Okay, so I ignored the fact that we were on support on SPY and on Qs. I respected the fact that Qs were in a downtrend. I should have bought at the pullback during that downtrend, not at the bottom. And I ran right into a wall of buyers. And I ended up stopping out when we broke above this downtrend line. So that robbed me of my $600 profit that I had, and I ended up closing the day red. And because I broke all kinds of rules, and I punished myself by not taking any more trades today. I will say that I don't know that I would have been comfortable enough to take any trades, to be honest with you. This line of resistance was very strong on the Qs until it wasn't. You can never anticipate these crazy moves. Like it just felt like, and it was very low volume today as well. So we had some. It was just all over the place. There was nothing that seemed to be working well enough to be comfortable taking trades. Now, there's several people today that probably did very well. I commend you for your patience, okay? Because it required exactly that. But if you're just, hey, we're trending up, there's no way to anticipate or expect something like this to happen. And you don't have to worry about this happening if you're using stop losses or trailing your wins, but it just, nothing seemed to be clicking today. Qs and SPY were all over the place. When SPY was running up, oftentimes Qs was not. ADD was very aggressive to the upside until it wasn't. And then the Qs took over. I don't know. Today just felt weird. But we did see some opportunities to take nice trades to the upside. Again, I didn't take them because I was putting myself in timeout. And then once again, you're moseying on along and then plop, moseying on along, then up we go, plop. It was nuts. And I don't know what happened here at the end of the day, but the market got really excited and we ran all the way up to here. So after 12 o'clock, there wasn't much I was doing anyway. The general consensus in the community was a lot of people weren't comfortable with what they were seeing. And I would urge you, I would beg you, I would suggest that you come back, look at the chart and say to yourself, man, this is an ass chart. And if you say that to yourself or you think it or you feel it, don't sit there and try and wait for a time that it might not be ass. Okay? Because as you sit there and wait for the chart to turn into something you think you're going to trade properly, that the Greeks that are options, especially zero DTEs, are just getting stacked against you the later in the day we go. So what may have worked or you might have been able to get away with earlier in the day, you might not be getting away with later in the day. For example, if you're in calls or in puts and you get a candle like this, the amount of work you got to do to get back into profit is brutal, okay, this late in the day. Same thing with pullbacks. If you're in calls and you get a nasty pullback like this, you're not back to where you were when you get back to this line, especially if it takes this long to do it. You probably had to be somewhere up here to get back to where you were here. Okay. The Greeks are nasty. And the reason we like trading in the morning is because, well, theta is not that big of a deal prior to 12 o'clock. Okay. It's there. It's just not that big of a problem. And so once we start to see that we don't like what we see, or we've broken rules, or we're bored, or whatever the case is, remember how many times that feeling or that situation has caused you to have a red day. It doesn't mean you're guaranteed a red day, right? You may have the ability to stay disciplined, stay patient, and trade what you see and trade what you're comfortable, and it should work out for you. Okay. I had passed that point. I had broken rules. I had taken 2 trades today. One was a winner, one was a loser, leaving me right on the day. I decided to hang it up for the day. I stayed on the microphone, but I stopped trading because undoubtedly the 3rd trade that I would have taken would have been for the sole purpose of trying to get back to green again. And the downside to that is not so much that I wouldn't prefer to be green, but if I don't get green on that 3rd trade, will I force myself to take a 4th, which would break the rule of 3s for me? Or if it doesn't turn into a green trade, is it going to be green enough? If it's not green enough, will I be incentivized to hold longer? Okay, because I'll be chasing the original $600 I was up earlier. And the answer is maybe. And if I do that and I don't get to $600, will I hold it to turn into red trade, making my red day even more red? Does it become a hold and hope? These are all things that happen to us on a daily basis as traders. And that's what makes trading so difficult. It's the emotional side of it, guys. The reason one and done, especially if that one trade is green, is so effective is because you leave your emotions on the table, in the trade room, on the trade floor, on the chart, whatever it is, and you walk away. You don't let the emotions, be them good or bad, have any part in a second trade because you never took a second trade. Now, I'll ask you this one question because I ask people, hundreds of people every single day. If you look at your account today, would it be in a better standing now had you just traded one and done and walked away when you were green for the last month? Would your account be in a better situation? Almost everybody says yes. So it's not that you can't make money or better progress by trading less. I would argue that you will do better by trading less because more trades per day becomes more emotion involved, good and bad. You could be invisible or you could be terrified. You could be desperate or you could be overconfident, right? If you're overconfident, you tell yourself, I can't lose. I'm making so much money. I have this big cushion. Let me just keep trading. All it takes is one nasty trade to go against you, which will turn that entire day upside down and could turn your entire account upside down. I watch it happen every day, unfortunately. Today, I'll also tell you this. We had our first red day as a community in, God knows, I don't know. It seems like a long, long time. Right now, we're close to 50-50. It's like 47 red, 45 green, okay? It just wasn't a great day. And so that also further reminds people that not every day is going to be a trading day. It might have been a perfect day for you. I hope that it treated you well. I hope that you followed your rules and you got paid for it, right? That's what we hope the prize is going to be for following our plan, our rules, right? Today, I followed my rules on the first trade. I got rewarded with profit. I broke my rules on my second trade and I got rewarded with a loss. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, right? So just know yourself, okay? If you know that emotions stack up the more trades you take, maybe consider the fact that trading doesn't get better or easier throughout the day for that reason. Some people, I don't know who you are because I have yet to find one, can trade completely emotionless no matter what happens. Kudos to you. I would love to shake your hand. I've been at this for years, every day trading, and I still get emotional in my trades. My least emotional trade of the day, every day, is my first trade. because I've done no good, nor have I done any bad to my account yet. And therefore, I take my first trade with confidence. And if I get rewarded for that confidence and for that trade and following my rules and my plans, I expect to get a profit. And usually that profit is enough to be happy and done. Okay? But I know if I take another trade, whether my first trade was green or red, I tell myself if I was green on my first trade, Jimmy, it's okay to take another trade. It's okay because you have a cushion now. You made profit on the first one. You won't let that turn to a red day. We've all said it, right? Today turned into a red day because I said it to myself. I'll just take this risk. I'll buy puts on support. It's okay. I can afford to do it today. I got a little cushion over there. Very easily, that cushion can be diminished, gone away, and turn into a very bad trade. Now, let's just say I choose to take a third trade, right? I want to be green again. And then, as we just talked about a few minutes ago, am I going to be green enough to close out and be done after 3 trades? Am I going to hold longer to be greener? Am I going to hold too long and be redder, more red? Right? There's a lot, guys. There's a lot involved in this game that is trading, and most of it revolves around emotions. So, as I said, if you're the guy out there or the girl out there who can trade completely emotionless, please know that you're in a very, very, very small percentage of people who can. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that if you do this long enough or for long enough that you'll become an emotionless trader. I don't think it's possible for most people, including myself. So know that about yourself so that you can protect yourself from yourself. And if you feel emotions are being involved in your trades, I would highly recommend that you close up shop and walk away red or green at that point. All right. So with that, I hope you found some useful information in this video. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. If you'd like to join our Discord community, well, we'd love to have you. First week's completely free. And if you like what you get for that week, please consider becoming a paying member. That's pretty much it. So thank you guys. I hope you had a fantastic day. Till tomorrow, I love you. See you.